Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving the 2025 Nissan Murano Platinum. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, and down below is a 9-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Murano for one reason. It is all new for the 2025 model year. Nissan has finally updated and upgraded the Nissan Murano. I'm also up here in Michigan at the Nissan Tech Center learning about and actually talking to the engineers that designed this car. And so we're going to be having a little bit more insight than what we might have for other vehicles here in the Murano. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you would like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month, as well as there's exclusive audio content. But let's get back to that 2.0 liter turbo under the hood. Well, it is actually the VC turbo engine from Nissan, meaning variable compression, which is a pretty trick engineering feat. It can actually change the compression ratio of the vehicle. However, what is now missing is the 3.5 liter V6 that they've been using for years and years and years and years. This is the only drivetrain offered in Murano, and it makes 241 horsepower. Is it amazing? It's fine. It does the job. It offers 21 miles to the gallon city, 27 miles to the gallon on the highway, so not stellar numbers there, but it's relatively fine. I think it offers a decent enough punch. However, V6 owners will miss that torque that the V6 offered. Like I said, paired to it is a 9-speed automatic. It does not use a CVT, and I am very, very happy to see that. The 9-speed is fine. I don't, again, think it's overly great or terrible in any regard, but it's not a CVT, so I will be buying a cookie cake tonight for that reason alone. Last but not least, this is all-wheel drive, and you can find front-wheel drive on the base model. However, anything past the base model gets standard all-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the new Murano? Well, it drives really, really nice. The first thing you notice is the comfort. And we sat through seminars this morning, and they said that they wanted to create a tranquil driving experience. They've now added electric power steering. They've added active dampers. There's tons of sound deadening in the floor and acoustic glass for the front. So all this together, it is a very, very nice, quiet, and simple driving experience. They've made the steering lighter, which I think it's at a good level. I would almost like a little bit heavier steering, but that is a personal preference. The one thing to take away is that this is a relatively large vehicle. You see it in pictures and you see it in video, and it looks like an average SUV, but it actually is and drives bigger than most. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a completely digital screen. Off to the left is my tachometer, and off to the right is the speedometer, but this is a digital dashboard, which I quite like. I think it's easy to read, and a lot of automakers don't get that right. Toyota especially, it sometimes is hard to read at a glance. This is relatively simple. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our ProPilot Assist 1.1 system. This is not a hands-free system. And off to the right, we have our selectors and voice commands. The overall steering wheel does look and feel very modern. Very happy to see this, and it feels nice in my hands. However, this is as low as the steering wheel will go. If you have big legs, no issue, but if you want to move it any further down, you really can't. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, steering assist button, our head-up display, heated steering wheel, and tailgate release, as well as our auto-holding brake and power parking brake found off to left here out of the way. On the door, we do have 2 levels of memory seats, power locks, power mirrors that fold, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get our infotainment display. This is where you will control your heated and ventilated seats, your massage seats that we'll talk about in a second, and this does have Google integrated, everything above the base model. So you can do things like, hey Google, set temperature to 68 degrees.
Okay, changing the temperature to 68 degrees.
There you go. Thank you very much. Oh, that is way too cold on a day like this. Hey Google, set temperature to 78. Thank you, Google. You could also control the ambient lighting. You get 64 color options for ambient lighting, and I asked the engineer that designed this, and he just said, well, you could get the ones off Amazon that have that many, so we did that many. And I said, oh, yeah, it makes sense. I really do like this display. I think it works well and it's integrated well. It also pipes the sound through a 10-speaker Bose system. However, the base models get a 6-speaker audio system from the base level in the Murano. Down below this, we have the glass finisher piece. So it doesn't look that cool on an overcast day like today, but it actually has a sort of holographic effect. Then we have our volume, hazard switch, and skip track, a little Murano logo, and our climate controls. I have a love-hate with this. I really like that I get physical climate controls. I don't have to rely on the screen for this. However, they are that sort of haptic touch, and I just don't really enjoy the feeling of them. I prefer a more clickable button like found on the Armada. I think the Armada has a lot better of a climate setup, but again, I'm just happy to have actual climate controls. Down below that, we have 2 USB-Cs as well as a wireless charger. Quick thing about the USB-C, apparently this was a big moment of contention for Nissan because the EU and Europe wasn't doing USB-C, but then they passed legislation to do it, so they were able to put USB-C in all of their vehicles. This is one of the many, many headaches that come with designing a vehicle, but we have USB-C, and I'm happy to see that. Moving into the center console, we have our shifter up at the top. Very clean, simple, easy to use shifter. But then we have our auto start stop on and off, our camera button and drive mode button for sport, standard, and eco. Then we have cup holders off to the right, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the all-new Murano, and it fails. Unfortunately, it fails. Then off to the left, we have what the Nissan engineers named the French fry holder. This is a big cubby, but they designed it to hold a large French fry from your favorite spot. Very, very cool to see that. We do get an openable center console. Nothing really going on in there. And then the seats. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say about the seats. First of all, this is Nissan's zero-gravity design seats, which is just their way of building the most ergonomic seats as possible. It tries to take as much pressure off of certain bodily pressure points, and I like it. They are very comfortable. The engineers told me that they tried 10 different foams when trying to design the seat, and this is the one that they landed on, and I think they did a very good job. But pushing it a little bit further, they are heated, ventilated, and massaging. We have 3 different levels of massage, which I quite like here today, and that's for both front seats. However, speaking of seats, the zero gravity actually continues around the back, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the all-new 2025 Nissan Murano Platinum, and the seats back here are noticeably harder than the front seats. Nissan says that this still incorporates their zero gravity, what's the word? Not aesthetic, philosophy, we should say. But I don't feel it as much back here. We do have rear heated seats. We have 2 USB-Cs as well as my own vents, and we do have window shades. The engineers told me, although it isn't a Nissan President that used to have the actual curtains, this is as close as they could get with their current suppliers. Down below, we do have a window switch, and the interior lighting, ambient lighting, actually starts on the rear doors and then goes up into the front cabin. So you do get to enjoy a little bit of the ambient lighting. Knee room's good, headroom's good. I'm 5'11", not a small guy, and I fit back here very handsomely. I would fit back here and sit back here on a long trip. I wouldn't have any spatial issues. The hard seat might get a little old, but that's okay. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the all-new Murano, and we do have a kick to open feature. Now, this is an all-new sensor from Nissan, and basically they said that you want to aim for the center third of the bumper, but they said that it will work beyond that. So, kick, it'll beep, and it will open. Once we are back here, couple of things to note. We do have handles to put down the second row. We do get a 12-volt outlet. We get a nice Murano badge down there and the Bose speaker within a spare tire. You actually get a spare tire, which isn't a given in today's market. This is definitely a very adequate amount of space. I believe in its segment, the only vehicle that has more cargo space back here is the Honda Passport by I think 2 cubic feet, but very, very nice to see. And the power tailgate. We also have our lock and tailgate button here. And there we go. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And this is one of the most polarizing parts of the redesigned Murano. You're gonna live on one side or the other. I think that this is a very handsome design. I think it works well, and it is well deserved for the Murano that was aging quite a bit in its outgoing model. This was designed in the San Diego Nissan headquarters by a man named Giovanni, and he said that they went for a very horizontal approach. They wanted big haunches towards the back, but everything in this car and everything around this car is very horizontal, and you get that quite a bit. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the all-new Nissan Murano? Well, I like it a lot. I think it does a lot of things really well. To name a couple of downsides right off the bat, variable compression turbo, I would have liked to have seen a V6 or just a larger displacement turbo, especially to compete with like Santa Fe with a 2.5 liter. I just think 2 liters a little small, and I do miss a little bit of that grunt. But beyond that, I think this is a really good execution of a well-deserving product. The Nissan Murano has always been a good seller for Nissan, and I'm happy to see it finally getting its day in the sun that it deserved. It's getting the respect that it deserved, and it really does feel nice. This feels like a luxury car. The thing that sticks out the most is that comfort level. Not only the massage seats, but just the way that the seat's design curves to your body. It's very relaxing. The sound deadening is very noticeable in a good way. This is way, way, way quieter than the outgoing Murano. It just feels more refined. It feels more like Nissan actually gave a rip when designing it. And so the question is this Murano ready to pull Nissan up by its bootstraps and get it back into the mainstream? Is this the one-stop fix-it for the Nissan name? Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you. But if you want to ask, does Nissan make a good product? My answer is yes. It doesn't have a CVT. It doesn't rattle and shake when you drive it down the road. And that is very, very nice to see out of a modern Nissan product. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Nissan for not only letting me borrow their all-new Murano for today's video, but bringing me up here to Farmington Hills, Michigan to get some seat time in the Murano, as well as we're also filming the Armada today, so I have another lecture to sit through and learn all about that. But they're great to work with. I hope everything works out over this next year so I can keep coming back and filming more Nissans. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.